This is a horror game podcast. It is meant for mature audiences. It may contain adult language, violence, and sexual themes, as well as shocking revelations. Viewer discretion is advised. Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I are playing the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Thom Raley. We are starting a new campaign, The Order of the Stone. It was written by Jared Twing, Lynn Hardy, and Paul Fricker. It's available from Chaosium. Our Keeper of Arcane Lore is Keith Craig, and this is episode 1. Now, I know you guys are getting tired of me asking for your financial assistance, so from now on, I'm only going to ask on the first episode. The best way that you can help us is through our Patreon site. Just a few dollars really helps to pay for the costs involved with the show. If you enjoy our content, please help us out. It's your support that keeps us going, and we deeply appreciate it. So, without any further delay, let's begin our journey into the darkness. Keith?
Thank you, Thom. It is the 25th of July, 1929 in Arkham, Massachusetts. Miskatonic University, to be specific. 5 investigators have been contacted by their friend Dr. Armitage because another fellow professor is needing some help from investigators that have experience in strange events and all. Dr. Armitage thought of these 5 people immediately and reached out to them. They've all come together. So let's meet our investigators. We'll start with James J.J. Jargon.
Yep, that's my name. JJ is what everybody calls me. So I am currently a not a private investigator, an investigative journalist. And I worked for some time at the university with Professor Armitage in the library. I manned the desk a few times. I did have access to the restricted section, but those are just books. There's nothing really to worry about. I went on from there to work for the Sentinel in Arkham, and that's where I am now. I'm 26 years old. I'm sorry, I'm 28 years old. Apparently, I forgot. I didn't write down. I should write everything down. I'm 28 years old, and I'm kind of nosy and a little annoying.
Nice. And we'll switch over to Goldie Holiday.
Hi there, my name is Goldie Holiday. Pleasure to meet your acquaintance. Yes, I am from that Holiday family. I studied at Miskatonic, but found it a little dry and dusty, and not in the good way. I was an archaeology student at the university, and it was there that I met Dr. Armitage. I quickly identified that academia wasn't for me. With my father's death, I was left a hefty inheritance and was able to go out and actually see the things that I was just reading about at Miskatonic. On some of these adventures, I would go with Dr. Armitage, and we saw some things that I couldn't quite explain, but have intrigued me further. And so I've stayed in contact with him while also going off and gallivanting around the world. My address is in Boston, but I don't really have a fixed address, and I like it that way. I am 28 years old.
Excellent. And of course, we have Manfred Carey.
Yeah. I have traveled over a lot of the least trodden places, at least by white men of the world. I've hunted and been hunted on several continents and guided numerous people with means and limited sense on adventures of their own. But several years ago, I lost 3 men somewhere in the Darien Gap and saw something that I don't remember that clearly. But when I got back to my hometown of Arkham, showed this peculiar stone to Dr. Armitage, and he helped me understand things in a way that I couldn't before. I trust him a great deal, and he knows that I'm not mad.
Excellent. From that, we'll move over to Dr. Gregory Harding.
Salutations. I am Dr. Gregory Harding. I am a professor with the biology department. I teach primarily human anatomy. I was, however, involved with the dissection and study of a rather peculiar set of specimens that came through Arkham about 20 years ago. Whatever these specimens were far too ancient, depending on what we understand about evolution, to be so well developed. It was quite unsettling. We ended up not publishing our findings, given that it would likely not pass peer review, and Henry Armitage, of all people, a librarian, seemed to be able to shed some certain light onto our work. And so we've had this kind of peculiar rapport with each other ever since. So I'm surrounded by young men, apparently. I am in my late 40s. So still spry, in my opinion.
Yeah, nice. And the last one we have is a Harold Blackmun.
I'm Harold Blackman. I'm a native New Englander. I've spent more of my life on boats than off them. I pilot tugboats through the treacherous waters in this area. Some years ago, Dr. Armitage received reports of some strange carved stones found in northern Greenland and prepared an expedition. I was the mechanic and captain of the ship. We recovered the stones, but, well, we saw some strange things on the way back, and let's just say we didn't make it back to Arkham with the stones or everybody we set out with. Dr. Armitage has kept in touch with me ever since for exactly this kind of occasion, should he need someone to fix the engines or make sure the boat gets where it's going.
Awesome. So it's in the morning. You arrive in the archaeological wing of the university. Dr. Armitage is there. He greets you. He's like, "Oh, my friends, thank you for responding and all." He's like, "Going, I wanted to go with some people I could trust and would be willing to accept maybe things that are a little strange and all. My associate, Dr. Abram Bethnal, has a need for someone to look into what happened to his dig team he sent to Ireland. He's like, we've got some coffee inside, if in his office and all, if you're thirsty, but come along with me." So he opens up the door and he goes in, and you see sitting in a chair. He's got a pile of papers and books next to him. A professor. He's wearing the pince-nez glasses. He's in his late 50s. He looks up at you and he's like, "Going, are these the people you said could help me, Henry?" He's like, yes. He goes, "Welcome. I am Dr. Abram Bethnal. I was told that you were just the sort of people that could maybe help me out, figure out what has happened with our dig team that we sent to Ireland at all." It's like going,
Sure, Doc. Can you spell your last name for me, please?
Of course. Nell. Bethnal. Got that.
Excellent.
Oh, no problem. He's like going, well, I want to make this quick because I worry that time might be of the essence and all. One of our colleagues has he headed off to Ireland. He went to Auchna Ireland to be specific, to assist in a dig out there. Apparently, the Irish professor that was leading the dig had an unfortunate accident, and they asked us for some assistance, and we were more than happy to help out. Miskatonic, of course, we're quite well known throughout the earth. Well, they had left Ireland a week or so ago on the SS Champagne, and when I called and talked to the harbor master to see if they were still on time to show up tomorrow, I was informed that they've not been able to reach the SS Champagne for the past day or so. They should definitely be within radio range by now. In fact, the harbor master says that he sent out a ship to go check on it, and the last message he had was that the SS Champagne was just drifting in the ocean. I don't
Drifting.
know. Yeah, I don't know if I'm jumping to conclusions, but they had a series of too many coincidental accidents and all for me to be able to rest on this at the dig site. Sabotage, some assaults. And I just hope that their bad luck might have extended onto the ship. And that's why Dr. Armitage said he'd bring Mr. Blackman. You're the tugboat operator, if I am correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I can
Good,
make the
good.
boat go where it needs to go, and if it's broken, I'm sure I can fix it.
Ah, excellent, excellent. I'm sure, it's nothing, but the university invested a lot in it, and they said they'd found some interesting finds out there, some urns of some kinds, probably from the Middle Ages, or if not earlier.
Hmm. I cringe a little bit at the mention of transporting mysterious urns across the northern Atlantic. Very interesting. But they've located the ship. I mean,
Yeah, yes, they it was radioed back. The ship that the harbor master sent out, they called back and said that they'd located the ship. But then when I called again, that ship has not come back either, and now they've gone radio silent also.
What
God.
what kind of ship was the Champagne?
Oh, it's a large uh, cruise ship, it was a passenger ship. It had several classes
Steamer?
of passengers and all. Yes, a steamer. Mhm.
What was the ship's complement? How many people?
Oh, I don't know. We had we booked five tickets, but of course there was a lot more people on there and all. But
And they've all disappeared.
well, they've lost contact with it at least.
Oh,
Has this made the news that an entire ship has been drifting?
If it has, I haven't seen it, but to be fair, they radioed that they had left Ireland, and then when they expected them to be in radio contact here, they reached out to him.
well, when was it due to land here?
Tomorrow.
Ah, so tomorrow's when it'll come out because all of those people waiting for their family and friends will suddenly,
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow. And
unless
about how far is the boat away from the coast of Ireland?
Oh, I don't know how far from Ireland. From what the harbor master says, he expects it'd take about half a day journey for a ship to make it out there.
Okay. So it's truly out in the middle of the ocean. It's not near the coast or anything. Okay.
From what I understand, I haven't seen it, but
The Irish professor that met an unfortunate accident before all this? What exactly kind of whoopsie-daisy did he get himself into?
He was hit by a vehicle, you know, uh, possibly, a driver that had a few too many beers or all, but he was struck by a vehicle, and he was still, he just wasn't able to dig anymore as it broke his bone and his tibia, broke his arm and
Yeah.
his tibia.
So, how big a place is this Auchnacriga that they've got speeding hit and run drivers?
From what I understand, it's a village.
Yeah, I'm surprised they got paved roads that you could even knock a guy down and disappear in. And how long ago was his accident?
Oh, oh, his accident. It was back in May.
A couple of months ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
It's also likely, Manfred, that if they do have a couple of cars on that island, they're not very good drivers.
Yeah, that's true. But you'd think you'd know who the three drivers were and you could look for the dented bumper.
Yeah, I
Anyway,
suppose so.
so he got himself hurt, and then you sent people over right afterwards, and then
Well,
they were.
he'd sent in a request for assistance beforehand, but then he put in a, hey, we're really needing assistance from a professor, and of course, the professor had a couple students that needed some field work to working on their degree, so he took them along with him.
So
So
you
for,
got
for,
five missing on the Champagne. You expect them tomorrow, but you think that they're maybe 2 days away and adrift, and then the rescue ship. Well, how big was that vessel?
From what I understand, it was a normal fishing trawler. I'm not a sailor, so I'd have to rely on Mr. Blackman to say how big that ship would be.
It's a
so,
complement of 6 or 8 people if they're going out into the deep water.
so Dr. Death, now, what are you asking us? You want us to see
I'd like you,
what's on
yeah,
the
see
boat?
see if you
Or
could go out there and see if there what happened and all and everything. The harbor master, there's a storm rolling in. He doesn't want to send out another ship because of that. That's why we contacted Mr. Blackman, because I'd heard that he was a little bit more adventurous in
I've seen some
well,
things that make me wonder if it's not just engine failure. Um, do we have coordinates for the last known location? The Atlantic's a big ocean.
you'd have to talk to the harbor master on that one.
Understood.
I didn't even think to ask.
so
Understood.
people are disappearing from boats, including the boat that went out there to find them. Now you want to send us out there,
We of course will can compensate you for this.
compensate us if we disappear into nothing.
Well, I
Well,
mean, you've got Mr. Carey here, who's been hunted by all kinds of
all
interesting.
kinds. So we'll at least take a backup radio and a backup generator, since the radio thing seems to be part of the problem. Uh, the five students or whatever, you have I guess you're gonna give us a list and description of them we can take
Oh,
along.
oh, of course.
And I'm not so much a history buff. Urns and Ireland are not a thing that, like, you say urn, I think Grecian. How much does he? Uh, and the dig, you must know. Isn't that how it works? Like, the deeper you go, the older it is. So you know when these, and are they
Hmm.
clay? Are they brass? Are these old beer vessels? I mean,
Well, I haven't seen it. From what I understood, they are made of stone or a clay, was what
Mm.
was relayed back.
Yes,
Greek
Professor.
or Roman?
Well, I'm interested in what exactly they were studying. Like, what was the culture that they were studying, or um, the time period that they were interested in.
Well, I mean, that's why they contacted us. The Irish contacted us because uh, it didn't make sense. It wasn't something that they could figure out was a
So they
time.
asked you for experts to figure out what it was, and you
Exactly.
haven't gotten any results yet because people keep disappearing.
Disappearing. Hmm.
Jesus Christ.
Well, no
Yeah.
one disappeared from the dig. They just some of
Disappeared
them
on the
got
boat.
injured and stuff. And
Yeah. I'm curious, like, what the nature, you mentioned sabotage and assaults. What's your understanding of motive or implication behind these incidents?
uh, well, from what from the doctor that we sent out there, his reports, Dr. Sebastian, he thought it was just uh, mostly hooliganism.
Hmm.
But I don't know if he might have been candy coating it. I worry that, it might have been a concerted effort. After a while, why would hooligans keep bothering people that are digging in dirt?
Depending on where they were digging, I mean, it could have been on somebody's farm and they were harassed by the farmers or the farming community or something like that. There's a lot of old superstitions too, those people. Uh, so are we going to take a ship, a steamer, or what?
Uh, yes, I've got a vessel reserved for you, the FV Foggy Bottom.
Boggy Bottom.
Mhm.
Mr. Blackman, are you familiar with the Foggy Bottom?
I've heard her name, but I've never
It's a
sailed her
trawl.
myself.
Yeah, it's a
Trawler.
trawler. Hmm.
I think I can
Not
handle
the
her.
not the height of uh,
Luxury.
luxury that Miss Holiday would probably enjoy.
Well, I've spent the past 5 months on a fishing vessel in the Mekong Delta, so
Jesus.
don't worry about my luxuries here, Mister Jargon. Is it?
Char, you just call me Chi.
Hmm.
I'll tell you the truth. I'd prefer to be traveling in the champagne than on the foggy bottom any day. And I don't mind sleeping rough, but I guess we get what you get. Mr. Bathnell, are we getting the foggy bottom with its captain, or are we expecting Mr. Blackman here to
Oh no, no,
be a skipper?
the crew. From what I understand, there's seven crew that will be accompanying the captain. Captain will be also with you. A Captain Bernie Green.
Hmm. Oh, old Bernie.
Mhm.
Uh, he's a character. It'll be
She.
good to see him again. She's a character. It'll be good to see her again. It's been a while.
Yeah, when
So
I spoke
when?
to her on the phone, she seemed had quite the colorful language.
Yes, she does.
So when are we going to leave?
As soon as possible. Boston's just a couple hour train ride from here.
Yeah, but we gotta pack up and get ready. And I mean, what are we? Are we going to go all the way to Ireland?
No, no, no. I don't want you to go to Ireland. Just want you to go help check out the ship. They,
Yep.
We got
they
to
got
check
on
it.
the ship. I know that.
And as far as we know, the ship is still adrift. It hasn't
Yes.
sunk. We're not dealing with a Titanic expedition here.
Oh, no, no, not the
Mhm.
Lusitania or anything like that. No.
You know, JJ, if you don't want to go,
Oh no, I want to go. There's a big story here. I just want to know what to bring along. Bring my toothbrush, bring some soap. Um, if that ship is completely empty of people, uh, are we able to, take whatever we want if there's useful, rope
Uh,
or
uh,
weapons?
I have heard that ships abandoned on the sea, there are salvage claims to it, but I am not a lawyer. I could tell you about archaeology, but that's just what I've heard. I've never looked into that.
We're not going out there assuming that everybody on this passenger liner is dead and we get to rifle through their belongings.
Okay, so
Mr.
maybe I'm
JJ.
misunderstanding. Are we just saying the ship is drifting because its engines are damaged and all the people are still on there?
We don't know.
We don't know.
We don't
That's
know.
what
Okay.
that's what I would assume. I mean, that's the more logical explanation. You had an engine failure, maybe someone made a mistake,
Okay.
and without power, your
I
radios.
misunderstood part of what you were telling us, but
Well,
okay.
well, Professor, we're very grateful that you called us and not the authorities. I'm sure we'll be able to handle this and be able to return any valuable objects to you and the university.
Oh, all right. I appreciate it. Yes, yes, yes. And of course, our professor and students who
Oh,
are the
yes,
utmost
yes.
priority of the university.
Of course, yes.
Did we get the name of the harbor master, JJ? Do you write that down already? I wasn't listening.
I didn't write that down, but Harold probably knows him.
Thomas Morehouse.
Yep.
Morehouse.
Good
So
old
he'll-
Mr. Morehouse.
He'll be able to tell us what I'm concerned about, which is if anybody else is having radio trouble. Because maybe there's some, I don't know, magnetic storm or other interference. Because if two vessels are not communicating and everybody else is fine, and that I don't like.
Hmm.
So,
Very good thoughts.
going over my mental list of things that I'm going to need to bring with me. What do you say? Tomorrow morning we leave from Boston Harbor?
If that's what you think would be best, that's
What
why
what do the rest of
hired
you say?
Well,
I've got all my belongings right here, and she just kind of taps her knapsack. She's like, I'm ready to go at a moment's notice.
Yeah, I mean, if we got people lost at sea, I don't think we want to make sure we got our silk pajamas.
Especially if the ship was supposed to arrive tomorrow, then we might want to get a hustle on before all pandemonium breaks loose.
So what time is it right now?
probably like 10 in the morning.
Well, we could leave today, but I need at least a couple of hours to get stuff together.
all right.
I mean,
if there's a
is that
storm
okay?
rolling in, every minute makes a difference. How quickly can you pack
if
your
there's a
typewriter?
storm rolling in, we should
I want to stop by
right?
the Five and Dime store near the harbor.
Again, JJ, if you don't want to come,
I want to come, but come on, be reasonable. I got to get a change of clothes. I'm not rich like you guys.
a
I need at least
professor
a
of
change
biology is
clothes.
hardly rich.
You're richer than I am.
I've got an extra toothbrush and powder, if that's what you're worried about.
Wow. I gotta have at least an hour, and then shall we meet back here? And then somebody got a car. Drive
We'll
us
just
over
take the
there?
train into Boston.
It's faster by far.
It's true.
Fine, Mr. JJ, tick tick.
All right. Fine. So you'll get us tickets. Somebody will buy
Yes.
the tickets.
The university will cover that.
We'll leave at what, around, well, I don't know what time the trains are going out, probably 11:30.
Yeah, I'll get some steak and potatoes while you run around packing your second typewriter.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm
Don't
not
forget the
gonna
extra
get a second
ribbon, Mr.
typewriter on
Gardner.
my first typewriter. All right. Nice meeting you all. I'll see you in an hour.
All
And for the
Yeah.
record, at this point when I leave, I go straight to the news office to tell them exactly what the fuck is going on. That the ship's going to be coming in, and or it's not coming in, but it's lost at sea.
And they're, of course, like, what? That's the first we've heard of this.
It's It's just, wait until we leave.
Yeah. Well, get
Put
the
it in the
story,
evening
JJ.
paper.
Get the story.
Yeah,
We'll be able to stick it to the Arkham Democrat with this one.
it's because all my belongings are in a small duffel bag, and I don't need to get anything. All right, so an hour later, I'll meet them all.
Okay. All right. So you guys meet back up. Assume you guys are all waiting on JJ to show back up at the train station. Of course, they do have you have tickets. It's not that far of a ride, so of course they just got you coach.
Well, sorry for the delay, folks.
You have all your sundries packed, I presume.
Yep.
You
Ready to
got
go.
your teddy bear?
All right. All right. So you guys catch the train. It takes you down into Boston, and after a little bit of maybe taking a cab or something, you arrive at the harbor. You see Harold is exactly how you've seen it before. Fishing, lots of fishing vessels and all, and you know, salt air coming in. It's really quite nice and all.
I feel at home
Mhm.
as it sort of washes through my hair.
Harold,
Yes.
what do you think about the weather? You're the kind of guy who can read these things. Is this red sky in morning kind of nonsense, or what?
I'll bend my knees a little bit, look at the horizon, and say, I think we better get moving as quickly as possible.
Give me a pilot boat.
Okay. 41 under 55, success.
It's there's not like this horrible storm out there and all. I mean, it's windy and all, and the seas are a little rough, but nothing more than you've seen before.
Hopefully the worst thing we lose is our lunch.
I don't know. JG might lose, I don't know, his handkerchief or something. God forbid.
Might toughen him up.
I don't get seasick.
Ever been on a boat before, JJ?
Plenty.
Okay.
Maybe there's hope for him yet. Shall we go speak with the harbor master before we leave on the good ship Foggy Bottom?
Yes, let's. I'll lead the way to his office,
Okay.
which I've been to many times before.
Oh yeah. When you get there, the harbor master Thomas is quite busy, but he when he sees you, he's a man in his early 40s, but he looks like a man that's worked outside his entire life. He's got that weather kind of beaten face. He looks up. He's like going, Blackman, I'm really busy today. What do you need? You have permission to go out and dock anytime you need.
Thank you, Morehouse. My friends and I here are taking out the Foggy Bottom. We're looking for the SS Champagne. Where was she last seen?
Oh, she well, the Harbor's Pride, who I sent out there, they saw it, and he gives you some coordinates. Or like I said, it's probably about half a day's journey to get there and all. They radioed back, said that they could see it. It did look like they had lost power, and when I tried to reach in before, after a few hours after that, I couldn't get anything raising up or anything. If they are drifting, they're going to be drifting in, and so they're probably adding a few more nautical miles closer than when they last radioed it, is what I would think.
It's optimistic. If the boys of the Pride couldn't recover it, well, things must be pretty rough. I'm hoping that the expert friends here and the crew of the Foggy Bottom will be able to get to the bottom of this.
I mean, my opinion is just let the thing drift in. It'll get close enough, then we send the tugs out for it. But I spoke with some professor in Arkham, and he said that was concerned about it for some reason. I don't know what a professor's worried about a ship, but he's like going, hey, you don't have permission to do that right now. Sorry.
Lay down the law, Morehouse.
Mr. Morehouse, are you having difficulty keeping radio communication with anybody else in the area? Or is this just the two vessels?
Just the two vessels, but most of our vessels around here, they still have radio telemetry, so we have to just rely on them to send in Morse code and all, and they just usually all clears. But yeah, we've been getting regular reports from them.
Yeah. So you're not worried about your friend in the Harbor's Pride at all? How long's it been since they've been out?
I sent it out yesterday. Their Captain Bones is he's a reliable captain. You guys can give me a psychology roll on that.
Captain Bones.
02 extreme.
Oh, let's see. Psychology.
Also, keep track of what you pass because you will have investigator development phase. With the pass, you do get a sense that he is a little bit worried about his friend that he sent out there.
Well, don't you worry, sir. We're going to find them. She'll kind of give them a knowing glance.
Well, if you do, be sure to give Bones a little bit of grief that he had to have some landlubbers out there to save him.
Will do.
I suppose we should head to the Foggy Bottom then. Is she ready to set sail?
She's Bernie, she's filed all the paperwork. She has permission to head out at any time. So she's probably down there cursing out her men right now that you guys aren't already there. You know how impatient she can get.
Yeah.
Let's go rescue them.
Let's go.
Should be able to make it out there to the boat if it's a half day's out with some light to spare, and hopefully at least get a general sense of what's happening.
Yes, absolutely. It's holiday.
Excellent. All right. So, Harold knows the way kind of down through the maze of docks and all the other. And he brings you to the Foggy Bottom. It's like I said, it's a Atlantic fishing trawler. You know, it's got all the little masts and things, nets hanging off of it, and you see this woman. She's probably in her 40s. She's definitely of a Mexican descent. She looks up at you and she's like going, "It's about fucking time. I thought we were going to get out on the sea here soon." She's like, "The longer you wait, the angrier the sea, Mr. Skits."
Yeah, Bernie, we made it just in time. I'm sorry, Captain Green. These are my friends, Miss Holliday, Mr. Jargon, Mr. Carey, Dr. Harding. This is
good to meet you all. Got any calluses on any of their hands?
No, but I got a pretty mean scar from a piranha bite.
Oh.
I got a big callus right here from my pencil.
Oh, wow.
I did my field work as a graduate student 20 odd years ago. My calluses are well and truly past.
Well, let's head on out there. We'll get you out on the sea. We'll see what these folks have done. We'll get some money off of him for having to helping out, and then we'll get back in before the sun comes down.
Fabulous.
They're going, all right. Hey, you untie those ropes. We're headed out. They're here. So
I'll
you get on
this
this ship
with the most menial task.
Yeah. He kind of starts pulling out, kind of like the orca leaving the Amity and the Jaws. So he's heading out. You know, she's yelling at people. You know, get your ship out of the way. We're headed. And so headed out onto the sea. Okay. Well, you're trawling along for a few hours, and the seas are kind of throwing you around, but no more than if you've been out on the ships before, you're fine. It's not like just rocking you mercilessly out there at all. And as you go along, about 3.5 hours into heading out, the seas start getting much rougher. So you're starting to get thrown around. You start seeing some clouds in the sky and all. Not like a hurricane or anything like that, but you can definitely see that you're going to be in for a some tossing and turning and all.
Mhm.
How are the landlubbers doing? Keeping your lunches down, or
Trying to.
Well, I've
I
been
find
keeping
deep
up a-
breathing and rum helps, and I'm kind
Yeah.
of looking around for any booze in the hold.
Yeah.
I've been on a steady diet of cigarettes, so
Oh, there you go.
not much to throw up.
Nothing like cigarettes to help you out. All right. So about another hour out there. So, it's getting to be, probably five in the evening, 5 or 6 in the evening. Uh, you kind of come along, and then you can see up ahead, you can see the SS Champagne and all. It is bouncing in the water. The water is starting to get even more choppy. I'm going to show you a map of it so you can reference the various decks. Okay, so there's so you can see, yeah, it is a large steamer ship and all passenger vessel coming in and all.
I suppose we should have asked Professor Bethnal, but do we know which cabin they were in?
That probably would have been a good question.
Nice.
I mean,
Not
hopefully
sure
it's
he
not
would
that.
know.
No, that's a good point. And it's probably hopefully it's not that bad. But we know we're looking for 5 of them, and I think we got a list. I just don't know anything about who they are.
Yeah, he did give you a list of the names and all.
I'd like to ask the captain. Captain, could you test the radio system?
Yep. So she gets up there and she calls out. She's like going, SS Champagne, this is Foggy Bottom. SS Champagne, this is FV Foggy Bottom. Doesn't get any response.
And how about the mainland? Can you reach the mainland?
Yep. She does, and you hear Morehouse's voice come across. She's like going, "You needing help already there, Captain Green?" No, we got it. We're just making sure that the radios are working.
And we've sighted the champagne.
Yes, you said. Yeah, he let know.
Do we see anybody on deck?
All right, let me describe what you see. So the ship itself, it's a large 8 decks. It's about 800 feet in length. As you kind of scan the decks, you see all the lifeboats are still up there. A couple of them, it looks like the covers have been removed, and you can see one of them has actually been partially lowered, and it's kind of just banging against the side of the ship.
Is there any sign of the Harbor's Pride boat anywhere?
From the You can't see it, but you're still a little bit of a distance. Maybe you're kind of like squinting. You can kind of.
And there's no light or anything coming from any of the portholes, no steam or smoke coming from any of the stacks.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And no people walking around on deck.
No people walking around on deck and stuff. Okay. As you get closer, Captain Green's like going. She's like, "I'm gonna go around it, see if we can see anything on the port side of it." So you're looking at the starboard side. So she kind of comes around. You can see on the port side of it, you can see the Harbor's Pride tied up to the ship, bouncing along with it, but it's kind of listing like it's taking on water, and the only reason you can Harold can estimate is probably going to sink in the next hour or so. And the only reason it'll keep it from going to the bottom is it's tied to the champagne until those ropes break from the weight.
Trying to look carefully, do I see any indication of like gunshots, places on the ship where the paint is flaked off or
Give me a spot hidden.
dented metal? Because it could be pirates. 70. What is it? No.
Nope.
I could spend 10 points to. I'll spend 10 points just to check. 10 points of luck.
Oh my God.
You can push it
That's a
also.
lot of points of luck.
Well, you know what? I've got pretty good. I'll as long as I'm not going into the brink when.
No. If you kind of if you fail, you've kind of stopped paying attention to the horizon, and you'll start getting seasick because your eyes and liquid in your ears aren't matching up anymore.
Okay.
Nice.
And I got an 04 at that time. So
Yeah.
Ooh.
So, nope, you don't see any guns.
an 04 wasted on that. Don't see it.
Well, now you know that. Now it's better than 10 luck.
I don't see any indication that they were attacked or boarded by anybody. Because I was thinking that maybe pirates or something got on board the ship and maybe they've rounded all the people up and locked them down below decks.
Pirates.
Well,
Has there been any piracy this close to the coast of the United States in any recent time?
the last 50 years, sure.
Well,
I mean,
more
we're
to
not
the
talking
point,
about our pirates. We're talking about people attacking ships, stealing stuff from
Sorry, I wasn't counting the Great War.
The Kaiser's boats out here.
Just
the point is,
speculation.
do we, in this weather, I'm assuming that even though they managed to lash together, they couldn't get a party from the Pride over to the Champagne.
Only if they lowered a ladder.
Yeah, how did we think that they got on the boat if they did?
I mean, they could lash by throwing something across, maybe.
Is there a tender hatch? Maybe there's a tender hatch. Not low.
But if we need to, if we don't want to lose the Pride, we need to get on there, right? It's listing really real hard.
Can we see any damage to the boat, or is it just
which boat? The ship,
the Harbor's Pride?
Harbor's Pride. It's just listing, but you know it probably has a hole in its hull below sea
How'd
level.
that happen?
Yeah. Wouldn't we all like to know?
These pirates have submarines.
Is it listing toward or away from the Champagne?
Away.
Yeah. So it's not like they hit it accidentally. Something external.
Could it also be listing because it's tied to the Champagne and the Champagne has gotten higher or lower in the water and it's tipping it over? I don't understand.
I think it's been damaged, Mr. Jargon.
Should somebody try to hop on board and take a look?
Yeah, a couple of us should get on there and see if we can get a pump going.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, we're going to lose it. And anything on it that'll help us figure out what's going on. So,
well, I'm game.
Oh God.
Well,
all right. You guys want to pull up next to the Pride and try and get on? Okay. As they pull up there, they get kind of closer. They've got the essentially
sticks.
ropes with hooks and stuff, and they kind of reach out there. They've of course got the little bumpers they kind of put out so they don't just smash up against it and all in this kind of weather. And they kind of get themselves there, and they're next to it and all. It's not going to be a pleasant disembarkation and embarkation onto the Harbor's Pride, but you feel like you could do it.
Yeah, I'm glad over there.
Climb.
Captain Bernie, do you want to send any of your crew over, or should it just be us?
Sure. I'll send over Marcus and Tim. Tim, get your lily asses over there and check it out. All right, Captain.
Marcus, there's a beer in it for you if you survive. Tim, I'll get you a glass of wine.
I'll take you up on that beer.
Mm-hmm.
If I see how they get to the other boat, what do they do?
So what essentially they do is they've got those hooks and all. They've got it kind of really close to each other. They kind of get up a little bit higher than the Harbor's Pride and just kind of like hop over.
Okay. If I see them do it, I'm going to be adventurous and do the same thing.
They've give me a jump.
Oh, jargon.
Where's my jump? Where's my jump? Oh, 35. Let's see. I got 15. So
Yeah. You get
I
there.
see
You
how they
kinda,
do it, and I do the same thing.
Yep. You kind of land. You got in your sea legs now, so you kind of are kind of going with it. But yeah.
Also wondering how we're going to get back, but
Yeah.
Jargon,
there's
you
a story
fool.
here. I got to get. There's a story here. I got to find out what it is.
It's not going to be a story if you don't make it back alive to tell it.
It's just water.
I kind of turned to Hardy. I'm like, does he know how to save a bow? Keep a bow from
I'm just observing.
thinking.
He'll solve it. He'll solve all problems with his youthful enthusiasm, obviously. He will very excitedly tell the water to go back into the ocean. I think that's how he's going to do it.
All right. So, JJ, you get in there and you got Marcus and Tim. They kind of go along. As you get over to the starboard side of the Harbor's Pride, you can see that they've got like I call them Jacob's ladders. Those kind of ladders that rope ladders. They've got those kind of lashed onto the champagne and everything. And but they're of course going into the inside of the Harbor's Pride to check it out, see what's going on.
I'm probably following them as closely as I can.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, I figure they'll recognize danger and take me back out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm not stupid.
I mean, it's not like it's not like this huge inside of a ship, and so they kind of go in. As soon as they open up the door, you can see the water sloshing around in the inside of it and all. But you can give me a spot hidden on that one.
Well, spot hidden. 84. So I don't see it coming.
Yeah. All right. So they kind of look at it. They don't want to get into the cold North Atlantic water, so they're like, yeah, it's got a hole in it, probably pretty significant, or it's been here a bit. We can maybe pull it in, but it's going to more than triple our time in because we're going to be dragging all that water with it and all. And if it starts really going down, the captain's going to want to cut it loose.
Is there anything I can grab, like captain's log or?
Sure. Yeah.
Well, I'm asking them.
Yeah. No, they sure, and they kind of go up into they get the controls, the bridge, and they grab it. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So.
And I'll come out on deck and I'll go, there's a big hole in it.
I'm glad that you're such a intrepid journalist, Jargon, telling us things we didn't already know.
And Tim goes, he's like, Captain Green, I'm gonna take the Jacob's ladder over to the champagne and check it out. They get
Got
on
the
that.
journal.
the little thing, and the key to climbing those ladders is kind of keeping yourself balanced on it. But they get on there, and they're quite used to doing that. And so you see Tim fall up, and he hops up onto the ship, onto the shelter deck.
I'm going to hand. I mean, I don't know what the difference between the two decks is, but I'm going to try to hand this up to.
Oh yeah, it's no problem. The main reason they did that because the ships are kind of like going like this. So there's times when the Harbor's Pride, if you're up at the bow of the ship, is up higher than the foggy bottom. And
Manfred, grab this as I hand it up to you.
Yep. Roll throw. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't want to throw it because then it could be lost. But
Blackman, if that's a lost cause, what's the best protocol? Do we want to cut it loose now and let it sink so it doesn't ram into us and into the champagne?
Oh, that's an excellent question.
And that's a question for Captain Bernie as well. I don't know about what the insurance things are with these things. If the men who have boarded the champagne have personal effects, but it looks like, Tim and Marcus are saying it's a lost cause. Is that what I'm getting?
That's the sense I have. If we're concerned about damage to either the champagne or the foggy bottom, we should probably cut it loose from the champagne, tow it out, and then let it sink away from anything else it might damage.
And we're losing daylight. And what's the weather forecast?
Well, hey, there's still clouds and all, but still kind of feels like Captain Green isn't panicking about it. She says it's going to be a good time, and you might regret if you had too much rum, but the sea will make sure you evacuate your belly of that.
So you'd call this choppy and not life-threatening.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
Well, Harold, what's the depth out here?
Oh, it's several hundred feet at least. We're out past the edge of the continental shelf, so it's proper open ocean here. It'll go down, and I don't know if we'll be able to get it back.
Should we attach a float to it so that it at least shows people where it is?
That's an idea. We could
float.
Yeah, drop a buoy with it. We can consult the chart, figure out how deep it is. But that assumes that there's something valuable on the foggy bottom that's worth recovering. Is there anything that's been found on there besides the captain's log?
No.
I don't know.
Harbor's Pride, I doubt it. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
The log, I don't know anything else.
I'm sure someone will love crashing into that buoy someday.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess I'll ask Captain Green if she could radio the mainland if they want us to do anything with the boat. If the harbor master has any, because it sounds like it's a lost cause.
Yeah, she's got the authority out here in the sea, being the captain. That she's not going to tow it back.
No, yeah. I say we let it sink. It looks like it's going to sink on its own at this point. So next plan then should be to assuming we haven't heard any screams or yelps from the two guys that are on the champagne, we should see about heading over there ourselves.
Yeah.
I'm not going up that ladder right now. That looks a little too risky. But I'm going to try to get back on our boat, Foggy Bottom.
Okay. Give me a jump. Okay, so you land, and whereas before you kind of landed real gracefully, here you kind of land and you hit your hands, you kind of skid in a bit because boats have that friction and stuff, so you actually have grip. So it's kind of like maybe scrape your hands, but not enough for a hit point or anything, just enough to be like, I got a little salt water in this open wound. So
son of a bitch. Crikey.
I'll help him out.
Blackman, Captain Bernie, can we take advantage of the fact that they've already got grappling to simplify this exchange, or do we just want to
Yeah.
start from scratch?
No, with Tim and Marcus over there, they'll be able to throw over some of the lines on the champagne, and they'll be able to give it a lot sturdier than the Jacob's ladder. I'm sure if you've never climbed one of those, I don't want you climbing those over the open ocean.
Yeah, fair enough. Especially with a rifle slung over my back.
Yeah.
And Tim and Marcus are up on decks and
Yeah,
haven't.
they're up on deck, and you kind of see them. They're looking around, and they're like they're yelling, but it's kind of loud. You maybe no one here.
Semaphore.
Yeah, they didn't bring their flags. So, so yeah. After a bit, they cut the Harbor's Pride off from the champagne, and it kind of starts drifting, and she gets the ship out of the way. But they get set up there with a much easier way to get onto the SS Champagne for all of you.
Yeah, I'm gonna get on the champagne.
Okay.
So will I.
Well, we came out here for a reason.
Hmm.
Still no sign of anybody.
No.
Yeah, that's eerie.
Mhm.
Okay.
Is
We
there
locked them all up downstairs.
The pirates, I assume, did this.
Whoever.
All right. So I assume all five of you get on the ship. You can hang out on the but nothing's gonna happen on Foggy Bottom. All right, so you get onto the champagne, onto the shelter deck there. It has promenades running down the sides of the ship from the bow to the stern. And as you kind of look around, as Tim and them said, it's devoid of life. It's water's been splashing up on it, but you don't see anyone anywhere, but you also don't see like a massacre.
Dr. Harding, I was joking about the ghost ship, but holy shit.
Feels like it might be.
I don't know how to tell you this, but there are no ghosts, JJ.
Not that I've ever met, but
So there's no people. How great is the disarray? Are there deck chairs that have all piled up on one end of
They've probably been moved around a little bit. I mean, they're kind of made to not slide around a whole lot. They've kind of, but you can tell that they've been. You get a feeling that they've been sliding back and forth for a while, like, but not.
So, those masts up there, can they actually put a sail up to move the ship if it runs out of power?
Though one guy kind of chuckles as like, in theory, if you had a big enough piece of canvas to do that, but they're not really made to move a however many tons this ship is.
Any sail big enough to move the ship would rip the mast right out of the deck.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, I think perhaps maybe the first place to start would be the bridge.
Okay.
Agreed.
All right. So the bridge, Harold, you would know this. The bridge is 3 decks up.
Right this way, please, after you.
That's the navigation deck?
Yep.
Yeah. And we might, when we get close, we want to go to somebody should check out the radio room too. Anybody have any skill operating some radio machinery? Dr. Harding, you seem to be very clever about something. I haven't figured out exactly what, other than irony.
Well, I'm not an expert in radios.
Fair enough.
Is mechanical I mean, I can fix mechanical and heavy machinery and sort of engines and
I
things,
believe
but
radios are electrical repair.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but he
Tubes are
runs a
confusing.
tugboat. He would know how a radio works.
I mean, I can push the button and say, hello, hello. I can do Morse code too.
Got a radio on your tugboat, though. So
I do.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Perhaps
I'm
we'll get
gonna-
more information on the navigation bridge, and then we can decide next steps.
Let's make our way. I am going to, however, ready my Colt because something seems to have caused some violence or, I mean, I don't know.
Are there any bodies, blood?
Nope.
No.
No.
And there's no sign of particular weather damage either, right? Like obviously there's salt spray,
Yeah.
but it's not like things are tattered or
Mm-mm.
no sign of struggle. Just empty.
Yep. Yeah.
and
Okay.
it seems
All
like an abandoned ship, and that means something scared people. So
With
just
no
make sure-
lifeboats missing either.
Yeah, one of them maybe started to. So yeah, I'm gonna, just chamber my.
Should we look inside that lifeboat?
Okay.
Maybe as we're walking along.
That's on the other side of the ship, right? Because we're on the front side.
It is, and it is actually one deck down.
Yeah.
We want to see if anybody's in command. I think that's the foremost question.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So going up.
Going up, and I'm happy to take point.
All right. So kind of it takes a little bit, but then you once you kind of figure out where the steps are, they keep the stairs kind of close together, so you can easily move between the decks and everything. Once you find the stairs up, as you head up, the first deck right above the shelter deck is the promenade deck. You can see in there's signs: first and second class passengers only. No third class past here. As you go on up onto the next deck above that, that is the boat deck. And there's a sign there: no passengers, crew only. After this,
Are Tim and Marcus traveling with us?
yeah.
Yeah, and nobody else from the Foggy Bottom.
No, they're maintaining it there. That way, if they have to get away from the champagne, they've got people there, and they're not.
Yeah.
You're not completely.
Can they still see us where we are?
On these decks, yeah, because like a lot of them are open. If you look out there, you can see them tied up on. What side did I say? They tied up on the port side. We'll say the port side. Yeah. Good.
I'll wave down
But
to
you
the
gotta get near
captain
the edge.
to let her know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. She kind of looks up at you and gives you the
Middle finger.
yeah. It's friendly in the Navy there. Okay.
Love you too, Bernie.
All right. So you make it up to the uppermost deck, the navigation deck up there. So this would be obviously where the officers' quarters, the bridge, and the radio room is. Okay. As you go into the bridge and you open it up, you can see inside of the bridge that there's a crew member leaned over the wheel. It looks like he was kind of slammed into the wheel and broken on it. Another crew member is kind of rolling around on the floor with the ship. It looks like a desiccated corpse.
Christ.
Well, you see,
God damn, I didn't
Manfred,
bring my camera.
this is what I'm clever about. I want to figure out what's killed this man. Just rolling around on the floor.
All right, I'll try
making
to
a
hold him
sketch.
still. Is it Am I crazy or does he look dried out, which doesn't happen easy in salt air?
Well, let's see.
I'll try to stop him pitching and rolling.
Okay. I mean, you can easily grab him and stop him from rolling and stuff. Okay. All right. Give me a.
Oh, go ahead.
What you rolling there, Dr. Harding?
I've got biology, medicine, forensics.
Oh, wait. Any of those, whichever one you think would be the best. Because you named all the ones that they say you could possibly roll.
Well, a 35 is a hard success for biology and a
Okay.
regular pass for medicine and forensics.
All right. So, as you kind of check it out, as Manfred kind of alluded to, he is devoid of fluid. Uh, as you kind of, with a hard on there, you can see there's a couple little spots where it looks like there's holes pierced into his flesh.
Yeah.
You know,
So if
in
you look here, there's been
multiple
some.
places.
So we look, these are incision points, or at least where something has intruded into the body, and this man is completely devoid of fluid.
What? Like
I'm
a
gonna look.
vampire?
Well,
I'm
a
gonna look at the
vampire
guy who
with a lot of teeth.
Mm-hmm.
slumped over the mast and investigate him.
Okay. You can give me the same type of roll there. Like,
Okay. Yeah, I don't have any medical.
Do you
Yeah.
want?
I'm just looking at him.
Okay,
I'll get to
wait,
him in. I'll get to him in a minute.
yeah,
Okay.
he is like, our backbones don't bend at 90 degrees backwards, and he is definitely bent more than 90 degrees backwards over the wheel
Back
of the
broken.
ship.
Oh dear God.
I am sketching everything.
Is he also like desiccated? Does he look
No,
like the other guy?
Nope,
Yeah.
he's not desiccated.
Okay.
One snapped, one drained. These guys probably have epaulets or some other bullshit indicating their rank.
Yep.
So is the captain here?
You don't see the captain, no.
These are a couple of mates,
Mm-hmm.
1-star, 2-star kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a couple bars that they have.
They have
All right.
nameplates.
No,
Nice.
but if you check their pants, they probably have their name sewn on their pants and stuff. That's what the Navy always did.
I'd like to examine the bridge equipment to see if any of it has been damaged or tampered with, besides presumably the wheel being knocked a little bit around by the force of the impact.
No, all the bridge equipment, all the throttles and everything, they're still there. Haven't
Interesting.
been smashed or anything.
What state are the throttles in? Is it full steam ahead, or because to start the engines we probably have to go down to the engine room, right? But
Yeah,
what state was it left in?
Whatever it would be for cruising.
Okay, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so a couple of us should go to the engine room and a couple of us should go to the radio room. Honestly, electronics don't mean a goddamn thing to me. But I will fend off whatever sea slug attacked the guy and sucked the juice out of him. So I'll take engine room. I'll take radio room. Tim, Marcus, do you guys know anything about zipping and zapping and telegraphy?
Calligraphy.
Oh, yeah. Well, they know how to use a radio.
Yeah, radio op, maybe basically, maybe it might be that in the tossing and turning, they just, broke a bulb or some wire got snapped. It doesn't have to be complicated. But I'd like to get this vessel in communication with the mainland, and we should also see if we can get the engines going. And we should also assume that there's danger.
And maybe we should stick together.
Well, we're also in a hurry, but sure. I mean, we're already on this deck. If we want to go to the radio room together
Yeah,
and
I
see
mean,
if we can,
it's not
let's
that
do
big of
that.
a deck. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun.
Okay. All right. So the radio room is just right off of the bridge.
Mhm.
Uh, when you open it up, you see the captain. He's got a bullet hole in his head,
Oh,
and the radio looks like someone has taken a sledgehammer to it.
Yeah.
There's-
So even if one of us was a wire genius,
you have to build it from scratch.
yeah.
The instrument that likely destroyed it, is there anything
No.
that we can see here? Okay.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And the captain's bullet hole is where?
Probably like, entered right about, below his eye.
Mm.
So, and he doesn't have a firearm in his hand. It's
No.
Mm.
some kind of lunatic mutiny, but that doesn't explain the dried out guy. Yeah.
We also doesn't explain why the entire ship is empty as well. If it was a mutiny with none of the lifeboats missing.
Now, now that we've seen the thing, we've got a better idea of how many souls were aboard. We're looking at a couple of hundred people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there a manifest? Is there a ship manifest
Yes,
on the
there
bridge?
is. There is
Okay.
a ship manifest. Yeah.
I'm going to start kind of flipping through that.
Give me a it's not library use, but yeah,
Accounting.
yeah. Give me an intelligence. Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
accounting.
Make
Yeah.
him roll accounting.
Yeah.
The best skill in the game.
Yeah. 55. That's a pass.
Okay, so as you kind of flip through there, as you kind of assess, there's probably about 800 people on there. But what
Mhm.
grabs your attention is one of the paper sheets is torn out.
Mm. Well, that's quite interesting. Is it like an alphabetical order, or is the ship in any type
It
of
is more by
class
room order. Yeah.
room order? Okay. Okay.
And so you can assess that the page there was probably rooms that started with alpha.
I see. Okay. I wonder if this is where our archaeological team was located.
Arkham, Archaeology, Armitage, all of them.
Mhm.
That being said, my instinct right now is that we do a quick tour of the vessel, see if there are any survivors, disembark them if there are, and then let this derelict sink, because we don't want to bring
there
this
may
back
be
to
some
shore.
valuables. There may be some
The ship's not
valuables
s-
on this ship.
the ship's not sinking, is it? It's just floating around.
Yep. Yeah, it's just floating.
This is $1 million worth of ship. They just need to bring it in.
It's
Might be able to claim it.
I don't
Is
want
it
to
a-
be here any longer than necessary.
Is it a fairly new ship or is it an old ship?
It's fairly new.
The harbor master said that it's drifting toward shore and you'll be able to tug it in a day or two. Let's just look for survivors.
Yeah.
And if there are any, disembark them. And if they are not, get off of this hell ship.
So
Back in the
So I
bridge, was there
suggest-
any blood at all?
What's that?
Back in the bridge, was there any blood at all, even on the guy who was bent
Ye-
over backwards?
Yeah, like where his wounds were, like his face was kind of probably,
Yeah.
smashed.
All right.
Yeah, the captain
Oh.
wasn't dried out either. The captain was
Nope.
just shot.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got multiple antagonists, is my feeling.
Mm.
And I don't like it. So let's just do a deck by deck search. And when we get down to the engine room, if we can start the goddamn thing and drive it home, fine. If we don't meet, I don't know, Bela Lugosi, but
Don't you need
otherwise,
a
I
whole
think
crew of people to drive a ship like this? You don't just start it.
we get a couple people over from the Foggy Bottom. It's not like a lot of the crew, if correct me if I'm wrong, Blackman, a lot of the crew on this thing is serving meals and, shoveling coal.
Absolutely.
We only have to do one of those two things. We're not in a hurry if it works.
Yeah.
But if the damage was done to the radio was done to other parts, then it's not going anywhere.
Yeah. And Blackman, you would know it takes about 4 or 5 people can steer the ship because once it's going, I mean, you got
Yes.
things are incredibly easy until emergencies happen for people to run it. So
Understood. Yeah, I think between the folks here and the folks on the Foggy Bottom, we could steer the ship home, assuming I think Mr. Manfred's exactly right. I mean, we saw what happened to the radio. Ugh, those engines are delicate. I think we should also check cargo to see if we can't find the urns in question. If this is anything like my previous trip with Dr. Armitage, I'm worried they may be gone too.
I'm worried they may be here.
Ooh, that could be worse.
So, can any of you fire a gun? Any of you ever handle a firearm?
I can.
I've got a Luger.
You're carrying?
I don't have it on me at the moment. I left it.
So
in my bag.
I figure since we know that there's been somebody shot, as many of us that can fire a gun competently should carry one. I've got a handgun and a long weapon. So if
I can handle a rifle.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
there's flare guns or flares, also on board though. So
Oh yeah, is there an armory up here? Maybe I don't have to break up my own stuff. We can just.
who's got the worst luck? We'll do a group luck roll.
I have 50.
I've got 60.
I have a 70.
Oh, I just spent 10 luck.
I'm also
I've
at
only got
50. 50.
Okay.
All right.
I guess it's my 35.
Oh, it's your 35. Okay, really. Okay, I thought you said 75. I was like,
No.
Who let you get on here with 35?
All right. Let's see.
The RNG gods were mean to me. Talk to Dollhouse. Let's see. Oh, exactly 35. Is that a pass or a fail?
That's lucky.
Yep. All
Okay.
right. So they actually have in here like weapons that can be found on the ship if they pass those. So
Nice.
okay. Hey. All right. So there is a pistol, revolver. It'll do 1d8 damage, and there is a shotgun, also 20 gauge.
I'll take the shotgun.
Okay. It's got 10 shells also in a box next to it. So there's fire axes everywhere, so you don't have to be lucky to find those. Those are all over a ship.
Harold, are you taking the pistol?
I'm no better at shooting guns than somebody who has no experience shooting guns.
I'm not great, but I can fire a gun.
What's the damage for the shotgun, Keith?
It's 4d6/2d6/1d6. I'd have to grab the book to see on the yards.
It's usually 10, 15, and 20. Something like that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay.
So systematically, we'll move to the what is it?
Aft?
We'll move aft and then go around each deck going down.
Okay. It looks like the bridge is like in the aft of the ship, at least from the schematic I'm looking at.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's wrap that up and then do each deck.
Yep. Okay. So the navigation deck that you're on, like I said, this is the only enclosed part of it is where the bridge. The rest is just open, so it doesn't take long at all. But
And when this vessel is operative, its lighting is electrical,
yes, yeah, it's
and
got gen.
that's powered by a separate generator. It's powered by the steam that runs the ship.
It's
I
powered
mean,
by the engines that they run the generators in
yeah,
there, so they probably got.
yeah,
This
they
is a
got
steam
turbines
ship.
attached to it.
Yeah.
There's a dynamo.
I mean, as much as I like the idea of going floor by floor looking for survivors, I wonder if we don't want to hit the generator slash steam room immediately. Because what we've got that 2 hours of storm light left.
Yeah, if that.
I mean,
Might
we
not
could
be a bad
also,
idea to add to the
yeah,
engine first.
yeah, maybe we should rush down into the
Yeah,
and
let's
see
see
if
if we
we
can
can
get
steam it
let's see
up.
if we can get this boat moving. If not, then we can maybe do a quick search for survivors because we're gonna have to call a tugboat most likely to haul this thing in.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay.
If we get it moving, are we going to stay on board?
If we get it moving, we can get it lit. We can, transfer again some of the foggy bottom crew over here, start to get things in order. I mean, we've seen so few people. My guess is that either whoever shot the captain or did whatever was done to the mate, either he piled all the corpses in the hold or everybody went overboard 3 days ago and there's nobody here. I don't imagine that there's a big contingent of passengers, like, I don't know, in the ballroom trying to pretend things are okay.
I was just concerned that once you get the ship going, you got to steer it, you got to slow it down, you got to speed it up, whatever. We don't want it to just go crashing into Boston Harbor
I
at
think
full
we can.
speed.
I think we're capable of driving it, JJ. If it can get into working order,
Okay.
I think between
Well, you would
Bert
know.
and
You would know,
myself,
Harold.
yeah, we can drive it.
Okay.
Because we got an anchor on board the ship too.
Mm,
Multiple anchors, I should think, on a vessel of this size.
you
Oh yeah.
JJ, never mind.
I've read a lot of Pulp Fiction.
That's my thought. I mean, honestly, I'm a Burroughs fan myself, so
All right. You guys are going to start descending down the decks, and
yeah,
you're kind of just sticking to the stairways and stuff.
yeah.
That's
And the
your
new
one.
plan is to race to the engine room.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's see if we can get this thing going because it may be sabotaged if something like the radio room.
Like pirates.
We
Okay.
should, as we go down, try to keep an eye out for where the alpha block is in case we want to try to find the room of the folks who have gone missing. Well, of our archaeologists.
Mm-hmm.
So these are vampire pirates now, aren't they, JJ?
I didn't say anything about vampires, but you saw what we saw.
All right. All right. So as you go down, the deck below the navigation one is the boat deck. Again, no rooms on that one. As you come down to the promenade deck, you see there that the rooms are. This is where the alpha rooms are.
Hmm.
Okay. And
Should we make like a little detour here just to check or head straight to the engine room?
I mean, while we've got daylight, if you want to take a few minutes,
Okay.
I don't think it's crazy. And we
All
should
right.
also see about what auxiliary lighting there is. I mean, we should pick up a couple flares wherever we go. As we descend, we're going to be in, windowless areas. So,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you go down the hallway to go to where the rooms are, That's an interior hallway. So
Yeah, so it's gonna be dark in there. Yeah,
Potentially,
I'm gonna go check out the alpha rooms. Yeah, since we're
I'll
here.
go with you.
All right.
Yeah, we're sticking together, but let's give it 5, 10 minutes, and
Yeah,
unless
yeah,
we
yeah, yeah.
find again like eight archaeologists cowering and saying, "Thank
Huddled
God you're here."
together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
okay, all
We'll
right,
make it quick.
okay. Harold, as you're going down, because you know, to use the railings and everything, you notice that your hand's got like a little sticky goo on it.
Dr. Harding,
Yes.
and I'll hold out my hand. Could you look at my hand and at the railing? There's something weird and goopy.
And it's like a black. When you change the oil in your car, it's kind of like that viscosity and that black, and it not like a diesel engine. So you know how it gets a little sticky on you. It's gross.
And does it smell like oil or something like
No,
that?
it does not. It smells like you know, not rot, but not a pleasant odor.
Hmm. Well, it
Hmm.
seems biological in origin.
Is it going to make me sick?
I want to lick it if that's what you're suggesting.
Okay, okay, okay. Um, well, let me find a rag here and wipe it off.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Okay. Who's in the lead?
I was taking point in general,
Okay.
although
All right.
yeah.
And what are you using for your light?
Uh, while we're and
What
once we
yeah,
go
if you
into the yeah,
yeah.
I had to open a flare,
Okay.
right? We
Yep.
didn't have any. We didn't come over with equipment like that,
Okay. All right.
which will keep us to our 10-minute time limit,
Hmm.
which is useful.
All right, so you kind of pop that flare, it gives you that red, kind of glow in it as you're walking along. Give me a spot hidden.
Oh, three.
Oh,
I
three.
see all.
Yes. As you walk along, up ahead you see a person kind of slumped up against the wall, like but their heads hung down, and you also see with that O3, you see a person's head on the floor, which you were about to kick with your foot.
Okay. Um, uh, I will wave the flare, point to the head, step a couple of paces toward the person leaning against the wall.
Oh, they're sitting on the kind of like sitting on the
Oh, they're
floor.
slumped down
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
with
That's
a
better.
head on them.
They do have a head. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, hello, hello. Uh, are you? Do you need assistance?
Hey, no response.
No response.
Yeah.
Harding, you should look at this, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna. Uh, Blackman, let's carefully approach the. I assume this one's dead too.
All right.
And I'm like, one like flare up and pistol at the ready
Okay.
as I step daintily toward the slumped figure.
Okay. Uh, with an O3 on that spot hidden, as you get closer, you can see there's like some streams of light coming through the cabin door on that's across from him that he was facing. Like they're bullet holes in the cabin door, and so there's light, the exterior light from the storm lights coming through, but you're in like darkness except for that flare. And the slumped over guy He's forward. You can see about where his head would have been if he's standing. On the wall, there's a little bit of skull and brain matter. And the back of his head's blown out, and you've fired enough guns, you recognize a bullet's exit wound.
Ms. Holliday, gentlemen, I think we've determined that there's no one here in A block to talk to.
My God, this is a massacre.
Yeah, I wonder if there was some kind of madness. I mean, this interpersonal violence is Harding, what do you make of the head?
Well, I'll pick it up.
Yep. This one's going to be a forensics.
Pick it up.
Could there be a contagion of some sort on this ship?
Yeah, I would.
And 11 is an extreme success on forensics.
Looking at like the neck, it looks like it's been chopped to separate it from the body.
Well, it seems that the severing occurred from a chopping action, perhaps by a fire axe of sorts.
Something drove these people amok.
Do either of these corpses look like archaeologists as opposed to seamen or tourists?
I'll stare intently into this head's eyes.
The
Phrenology roll.
Anthropology.
We could tell by these bumps that he was.
The guy that slumped over is wearing like a suit.
He was a fellow of infinite jest.
Yeah.
You knew him well.
Is he okay?
Alas.
Yeah, all right, let's get to the engine room.
Yeah, I have a feeling we're going to find a bloodbath throughout this whole ship at this point, unless some poor souls are locked up somewhere.
Should we get back to the Foggy Bottom and take the harbor master's advice? Let the thing float in until it's tuggable, and maybe daylight and a larger complement of.
Yeah, but I mean, we're gonna have to pull this thing in anyways, and yeah, get some people out there from Mass General to exhume all these bodies.
I don't know anything about medicine, but what if it's some sort of germ?
You don't.
And all these people go nuts.
No, it's it feels like a contagion. If I understand, JJ, why you're anxious, I increasingly maybe we should just not bother with the engine room. Let's just get back to the Foggy Bottom and let this thing take its course. Because we're not going to find a survivor here. Look at this.
All right, Harold.
Dr. Harding, is madness contagious?
I mean, it depends, right? I mean, if you view rabies as a kind of madness, then yes, it is very.
Syphilis?
Right. What if it's rabies? What if there were dogs or something on board the ship and they bit somebody and now everybody's got rabies?
The rabid vampire pirates.
Yeah, I'm getting the fuck off the ship.
With guns.
Pardon my language.
Harold, give me a luck roll.
Oh, God.
I love group luck.
Yeah.
67 over 35.
Okay,
So-
all right. All of you give me a spot hidden as the flare is starting to sputter out.
Oh, God.
I got a James Bond.
Oh,
Ooh.
nice.
007.
40.
I got a success.
It's an extreme 9.
I got
Regular.
45 on 45.
Okay. All right.
I also
Everyone
rolled a
pass?
45.
Yeah.
Okay. Give me a sanity roll.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
First one.
Let's do it.
1. All right.
Nice.
36.
Fail.
Just pass.
89.
If you fail,
86.
if you fail, you only lose one. So what you see as the flare starts kind of sputtering out at the far end of the hallway, you see this dark writhing shape, and you almost see like a black tentacle kind of unroll itself and start stretching down the hallway, and then it goes dark as the flare's magnesium runs out.
Manfred?
No,
Another
I'm
flare?
running the other direction.
Reverse.
Yeah,
Back
get
to
outta
the
here.
hall to the light.
Yep. Looney Tune style.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you guys give me a dex roll with a bonus so that you don't trip. You're running in the dark.
When the annoying last little sputter happens, I'm gonna just take one shot in the direction of that figure.
Okay. Fire away.
We're all
Yeah.
dead.
Just so nobody needs to hear anything.
We're running at normal speed. Now we're running at 10 times.
Yeah, you've seen people shot. Okay. If you pass, you don't fall down. You don't trip and kind of fall down. But yeah, okay.
I failed.
All right, so you kind of like trip.
Ooh.
Maybe the ship's rocking, and you're kind of fleeing. You kind of trip and you fall down. You didn't fumble, did you?
No.
Okay, yeah, you just kind of trip and fall down, and then
I'm behind Goldie, so I'll, be able to anyone who fell, I would try to help scoop up toward the relative light of the, I guess, dusk now.
Yeah.
I'll open up the hatch we came through so that
yep.
the light comes in.
Run.
So yeah, you come back out onto the deck, and
I'm continuing. I think we're all probably continuing directly to the foggy bottom.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
I'm making
Get Marcus, get behind us.
they're already going.
Okay.
So you're going, and as you're running along, because you have to go down 2 more decks to get to where you were there. As you're coming down the first staircase, Goldie, we'll say you kind of look out to the port side, and you see this rapidly approaching wave. Think like the Poseidon adventure, that rogue wave that is headed to it, and you see the people on the foggy bottom. They're kind of pointing at it, and some of them are coming over to the Champagne because the bigger ship probably has a better chance against a monster wave like that as approaching.
Holy shit.
Probably that. Go ahead.
No, I'm just like, holy
It
shit.
probably doesn't help that I'm screaming sea monster.
Yeah, probably not. So
We're gonna have to take cover.
yeah, and about a couple minutes later, because these things move quick, it hits it. You hear the foggy bottom hits the side of the Champagne, and then the Champagne it twists, and you're almost positive it's going to roll. And everyone, give me a dex roll to keep your feet.
36.
09.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, 40 under 55.
I hold on to something.
Yeah.
35 is
Great.
hard.
All right.
40 is a pass.
Nice. Let's say Tim Dennett. He kind of he falls. He hits his head on his nose, and you see his nose kind of break as it hits. A loud crashing and groaning metal echoes throughout, and the ship's kind of sitting there, and then ever slowly it starts to right itself, but it's just a little cockeyed now as it's And if you look, you can see that the foggy bottom, I mean, it took that wave and it slammed it against the ship that's metal, and it is really listing really bad.
You said that there was some effort to flee that wave from the foggy bottom. Did anyone make it over?
Yeah, they did.
Captain Bernie?
Yes, Captain Bernie made it over.
All right.
So,
Captain Green, can we cut her loose? You're insured?
she's
we
a
need to.
she's a couple. She's a deck below
Oh,
you.
yeah. All
Yeah,
right.
so
Is it sinking? Does it look like the foggy is sinking? It's
looking
damaged,
at it right
obviously.
now, it's damaged, right? Yeah. So
We should really try to
Radio.
recover the radio. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's make our way down.
okay, all right.
Is there another
Jesus
wave
Christ.
Nope.
that
Mm-mm.
uh
Nope. But if you look up, the storm clouds are getting darker,
oh,
and you're
fantastic.
starting to see like lightning kind of shoot between the clouds and all. You can see getting quite the, what are they called, squalls.
Mhm.
All right. So, all right, downstairs, we're going to try to salvage mission, right? Blackman, if you agree. Look, as much as we can off the foggy bottom, and find a way to hole up.
I think that's
Dr.
our
Harding, are
range.
you going to tell me that wasn't a sea monster?
I didn't see anything but water, JJ.
It was a tentacle in the dark.
Oh,
Look,
two different events.
Yes.
Let's move.
Okay. All right. So you guys head down to the shelter deck,
Mhm.
and you get there, and Captain Green's kind of was already ahead of you. She sent some people over. You got a couple guys. They went down. They come back up, and you hearing one of them yell. It's like, I was like, I wouldn't trust her out on these seas. Like, she's got a pretty good break in her hull and all. She's not going to go down immediately, but you wouldn't make it back to the coast.
The starboard bow gunnel is entirely broken.
Yeah. And she's like, "Oh well, bring over what we can. We're gonna still try and keep it afloat, start getting the pumps going, but we're gonna do what we can to save my ship."
I'll climb down and try to give whatever help I can.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm assisting with whatever they need.
So
I think we
essentially,
should-
what they're kind of doing right now is they're like doing the man line where they kind of get there and they get to the edge and they're just kind of tossing some things up to the people to catch and up onto the champagne and all.
We better start looking at those life rafts, getting the hell away from here.
In the storm, I don't know if
In
that's
this-
such a good idea.
In this weather, you're not going to
Yeah.
last a single splash. I'd like to try to impart to Captain Green that this vessel has also got dangers on it without being totally without freaking her out completely.
Like, that's just what I fucking needed. I could have just been out catching cod instead to take that deal from that professor. $100 ain't worth it.
When we get back to shore, Dr. Becknell is going to do a lot of oyster diving for us. And I'll break down what we've seen without being like gunshots, a lot of
bodies.
mutual violence that we don't, and that the radio has to come over first
Mhm.
because that
Yeah.
was specifically attacked.
Okay, yeah. Yep. They get that disconnected and all, and they bring that over. Now, they're large radio, they're vacuum tubes and stuff, so they're heavy.
Yeah, and fragile.
Yeah.
We don't have any spare tubes. Be careful with those.
Yeah, I think she'll be bringing over the spare tube, like the cardboard boxes of tubes come, in the second larger boxes.
Yeah.
Right. And Captain, have you seen a wave like that in these waters?
Oh, rogue waves. Usually, like they'll come up on you without a lot of notification. I mean, that's why they're called rogue waves. But yeah, that one. Yeah, sailors, we're a superstitious lot, but it was like it was coming right for us. Like,
Yeah. And on a vessel like the Champagne, where's the safest place for us until we can get her operable? Do we want to be,
well, it depends what your threat is.
well, against the storms looks to me like it's getting worse. Is that what it looks like to you?
Yeah,
So
definitely.
we'll take that first.
Oh, well, then in the interior of the ship's going to protect you from that, and all you get it kind of in the middle. It's going to be rolling the least amount.
Right. And we haven't seen the engine room yet. We know there was sabotage up decks. So anything that we might bring over from the Foggy Bottom that'll help with repairs is probably a good idea in terms of prioritizing
Right. Yeah.
things coming over.
Mm-hmm.
You'll bring over some the stuff. Obviously, they don't have like things to fix. If like a
Massive
gear is broken
cruise
or something, they
liners.
don't got massive
Yeah.
gears and stuff to replace.
Do you have anybody named Scotty on board?
Let me look at their names, but I don't recall that one. No.
Anyway,
Crystals.
in terms of mechanics, we want to focus on that because I'm afraid that, I don't want to be stranded on this thing for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And anything I can do to help bring stuff over from the Boggy Bottom, I'd like to volunteer for.
Yeah. So, you guys kind of she leaves two guys over there kind of working the pump, trying to keep the ship from actually sinking. No, it's not as bad as the Harbor's Pride was. They actually think that they can save this one. They just don't want to try and drive it in and all, because if they get away from this and then they're not able to keep it afloat, then they're in the ocean without a ship.
Well, once the radio's on the Champagne, I want to make sure that we can try and get that up and going so we can send out a distress signal as soon as possible.
Yeah. Still gonna need electricity to power the antennas and all that. Yeah.
So we got to kind of figure that out.
Yeah. So lighting anything we can get from the Foggy Bottom and whatever emergency, I don't know what kind of torches.
A storm lamp, old school, but I reckon they'll probably still have a few around.
Are there any
flashlights?
lanterns, flashlights?
Yeah, they've got all those on there.
Flashlights are a thing, right?
Yep.
1929. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They're big, heavy, weak, and short-lived, but
Yeah.
storm lamps and
Okay.
yeah. All right. So we're going to make our way down to the engine room.
I guess.
Once we've transferred, and by that time probably it's natural dark.
Yeah.
So
It's dark,
fire off
and
a flare.
then the cloud's so heavy that there's not moonlight or anything coming in also. So
Okay.
It's
I'm gonna
black.
shoot off a flare too, just in the off chance that
Yep.
there's anyone nearby. We'll make sure
Okay.
to keep doing that on a semi-regular basis.
right. Yeah. Mhm.
How far away is the coast from here?
Day and a half or a half a day.
That's what
Well,
underpowered.
I mean,
yeah.
Miles. You could probably see a flare go off 10 miles away.
We're farther than that.
Or
If we
farther
were
than that.
Plus
cruising
storm
at
weather
12 knots
and
for
lightning.
Yeah. yeah, with the storm, it's going to be really difficult, but might as
So,
well.
so Manfred, what
I
describe what you saw when
down
the
the
fire went
hallway.
out?
Well, um, you said you've seen some strange things, right?
Yeah,
Before.
yeah.
Oh. Um,
Was it this?
yeah, I mean, not exactly what I saw, but I can see where you're coming from and appreciate that you're not going to call me mad. I thought it was more like a figure from instead of a doorway, more like a figure that a thing came toward us from.
All I kept thinking about was, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. And at that point, I just turned myself and ran.
Yeah, wisely so. I, my impression is that even though everyone we've seen so far on this vessel is dead, that there are things on this vessel that are alive, but they're not people.
Maybe we're going mad.
Maybe. But so did the people who shot each other and chopped each other's heads off. And if we can avoid that fate, that that would be my preference.
I wanted an adventurous life. I didn't expect this shit.
All right. What you gonna do?
Proceed to the engine room, attempt to restore enough power to operate the radio and call for help.
Okay. Everyone headed down to the hold.
I think that's got to be our plan. We got to get electricity to get a distress signal out.
Okay.
Yeah, and any idea about leaving people behind seems crazy, given that we don't know what the hell's out there. The more people, firearms, and light sources in competent hands we can manage, the better.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you gotta go down the upper deck, the main deck, the lower deck, and so getting down into all of them but the lower deck, they're still set up for passengers and stuff. So as you kind of get in there, the stairwells, what you're kind of expecting. When you get into the lower deck, you get those stairwells that are like, iron grids or whatever that you just kind of step on, and they've just got no longer trying to look nice. They are very utilitarian pieces of equipment at all. You move on down through the lower deck, getting into the hold. As you open it up, I mean, without your flashlights, it obviously would be pitch dark because you're actually kind of below the water surface even now on the ship and all. So you see multiple flights of metal steps from the lower deck go down into the hold, the boiler rooms, and the engine room, and all. They're massive pieces of equipment to move this ship and all.
All right. I'll begin to direct and say, okay, Goldie, you go there. Be ready to pull the thing. Manfred, when you need to spin the wheel, go and do the thing. Jargon, stay out of the way. Harding, please supervise. I don't want anyone to be hurt. And I'll head to whatever dynamo we need to switch.
Okay.
Marcus and Larcus shovel coal.
Yeah.
I'm assuming there's some standard initialization procedure.
There is. I had the page marked for getting the ship restarted. That's why I'm flipping the pages really quick.
Excellent.
Okay. All right. Okay, give me a mechanical repair or operate heavy machinery.
Okay. Let's see. Come on, baby needs a new pair of shoes. Oh, 49 under 55
Okay.
for both mechanical repair and operate heavy machinery.
All right. So the other crew members came down here with you. They're kind of working on it and all. It's going to take about 30 to 45 minutes to get these things up and running. It's not like starting a car. But yeah, they with a little bit of your direction and all, they're able to kind of start working on it. About when they're kind of working away, and your guys just going to kind of stay down there and work. Who's up kind of nearest the stairwell?
I am, because he didn't want my help.
Yeah. All right. You hear someone singing in the lower deck. They're like, God is in his holy temple.
Jesus Christ. Not that guy. Hey, there's somebody singing up here.
And if you kind of look, you see a guy walking down the hallway. He's got what remains of a suit. The arms have been ripped off the suit. The pants have been cut to where he's like shorts. He's carrying a burlap sack. And he's got a fire axe over his shoulder, and his hair is like sticking up wild, like he's got gel, but this gel is kind of like this sticky red substance.
There's a crazy son of a bitch up here.
That seems like a good place to stop.
Our players included Troy Wheeldryer, Preston Firestone, Morgan Llewellyn, David Gasway, and myself, with Keith Craig as the Keeper of Arcane Lore. We have a Discord server where you can chat with other members, you can set up private games, and you can learn the fine arts of gameplay and game mastering. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Spotify, Podbean, or iTunes. Support for the show is provided by our patrons who are listed in our closing credits. If you'd like to show us your appreciation, please visit our Patreon page, or you can use the thanks button just below the screen. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows, and leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answer any questions you might have. This is Thom Raley, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck and good gaming.